think it was last year where I finally checked out Hell House LLC and found it to be an absolutely wonderful found footage horror movie with genuine scares and atmosphere, something that got really under my skin that I really enjoyed, so much so that I kept telling people about it. Got to check this movie out, it's fantastic. Part 2 came out roughly about the same time I checked out part 1, and I eagerly jumped into that and found that they built upon the mythology. They created a movie that was just as scary, just as entertaining as the first one. And I love these pairings of movies, talked about them a lot, recommended them a lot, and then almost out of the blue, the third one just appeared on Shudder, and I was blown away with the fact that I didn't even know it was coming out. I was just so happy to get a third part of this. And again, they follow the typical storylines and tropes that have been built up within the first two movies to round out the trilogy and what will most likely be the final part of the Abaddon trilogy, the Hell House itself. This time round, it's all about the instigation of a play called Insomnia, where people go in and walk about the house as this play takes part. They're part of the crew, part of the audience, participants within this event. Of course, we know this hotel. We know the kind of things that happened here, and it does so expertly well. There is spliced footage into this faux documentary relating back to the first and the second parts, almost as if something is manipulating the film itself, and it takes those really tense and scary moments from those movies, cutting them into this, building even more tension upon it. They use that to build the kind of characters in this one. Going back to the scares, as people talk about the first two movies, is a good way of still having those shocking moments, but without distracting from the story. We get to build up these characters, learn about the new actors that are there as they start to discover more stories about the hotel and the spooky goings on there. And then of course we have the mysterious wealthy backer, the person who has bought this hotel just before it was demolished in order to stage this play here. Out of the way, it seems like such a strange location, but we know there is something strange about this character. It's just how it's going to get to it. And that's one of my favourite things about this movie and the series in general, the way it builds the mystery. You know there's spooky goings on, and it ramps up the tension and suspense, and we know that we are building towards a really good finale, hopefully, but it also builds up the mystery. What are these characters' ultimate motives? What are they after? Do they have any ulterior motives that we just do not know about? There is flashback footage to the first movie that's done expertly well with new things instigated into it. And I strongly feel that this one has gave a proper closure to the Hell House LLC trilogy. A trilogy of movies that just does not get talked about as much as I feel they should. I think they are tremendously well set up, tremendously well executed. For me, the third part is probably the weakest of the trilogy, but it's trying to do a lot. It's trying to tell a contained story within this one as well, while still relating back to the first and second movies, building upon the mythos and trying to give closure to all of these three storylines that's been building up throughout the trilogy. It is attempting a lot, and it's to be admired for that. It gets a little bit mixed up in its own mythology at points, but it's nothing that's going to derail the movie. It's nothing that takes away the atmosphere or anything else from it. It's still a really strong movie, just not as strong as the first two. I love this series. I kind of sad that it's came to a close, but I feel as if they've done it at the right time and they've gave it a fitting finale. I can't wait to go back and just watch all these one after another. Halloween's around the corner. It's perfect for that. If you haven't seen any of these movies, I strongly recommend them. They are some of the best found footage movies I've seen, with some of the best scares, simply done but really effective. If you've seen the third part of this series, if you've seen any other parts, let me know in the comment box your thoughts on these movies, and I'll see you next time on Man vs. Film.